Oh, okay, there we go. So this video isn't gonna be anything special. I've done this deck, and I guess sometimes it gets boring to just play and then not do anything about it. Because I'll spend hours and hours and hours, and at least if I'm recording and then I'm speaking, at least it gives me more purpose. You know, it's not as if like I'm just wasting my life away. So here it is. Let me close my window. It's about 3 a.m. where I'm at right now. It is 3 a.m. and yeah, basically I've been playing for a while now. But I've been usually whenever I play, I will do something else. I will watch a video. I would watch YouTube or any kind of shows. I just finished Jessica Jones. It's a great one. Now I'm currently watching UFC and UFC 220. Yeah, Miocic versus Ngannou. If you're a fan of MMA, this is a big fight. If you're a fan, you know how serious this is right here. So yeah, I just sometimes like to watch the preview, kind of like them building up whatever fight they're gonna have. And honestly, I'm super pumped because Miocic. Yeah, there we go, Stipe Miocic. You have Joe Rogan, which is the commentator, was saying that he is the person who earned his way through the championships. He climbed the rank. He didn't get like what they call it, the express route that Conor McGregor has just because he can't speak. Stipe Miocic doesn't really like to talk trash, and he just climbs his way up. You know, fighting the top heavyweight in that ladder. I remember him beating Arlovsky. There's a few more that he beat. I believe he beat JDS the second time, because the first time around he got he lost the decision, but he was there. He was solid. And anyway, so that is Stipe Miocic, and the current contender is Francis Ngannou. This guy's he's a beast, man. If you watch UFC at all, crazy knockout over and pretty much everyone else that he's fought in this division. And the other thing that you can't overlook is also the fact that he has pretty decent wrestling. At least his wrestling defense is pretty decent. He doesn't go for takedowns because he knows that people want to go for takedowns on this guy. But he's had a Kimura submission, I believe, on who was that again? I can't remember the name. But he had one submission victory in the division. Am I saying that he's a good BJJ guy? No, he's not. He's far from it. He's good in if you compare it to a layman, just a nobody that doesn't fight. Obviously, he's good. But heavyweight, we have Verdum, right? Verdum. Cain Velasquez is a good wrestler as well. So if you compare it to the top 5, maybe he's decent, because in the top 5 right now in the heavyweight division, a lot of them are mainly strikers. So yes. Anyway, that is what I'm watching right now. Let me continue the preview. Here. Oh wow. So Joe Rogan is just saying that he's currently on a 4 first round knockout streak. The first one was Andrei Arlovsky. I believe the next one is Fabricio Werdum when he got a belt in 2017. 2016 actually, in 2016. Yeah, boom. And then after that, the defense against Overeem and then JDS, also in the first round. Yep, ground and pound's pretty nasty. Yeah. Actually, if you watch that fight with the JDS, it's really interesting because JDS had kind of like solved the puzzle, for lack of a better word. That's all I'm gonna say. Kind of solved the puzzle by you know, bringing Stipe Miocic to decision. But I guess Stipe Miocic and his team must have done a great job of working around whatever mistake they made and then working from there. So if you see in that fight, JDS was trying to circle away from Stipe Miocic, but for some reason he was caught in the one of the octagon pillars, because it's like a cage, and then the pillars, I wouldn't even know this supporting foundation, whatever it's called. So he was kind of like walking away, and then he was circling, because I know I use the word circle away because that's the term, circling away, but the octagon is not a circle. You can't just walk in that circle. You gotta remember that there's a lot of corners there. There are 8 corners in the octagon. I mean, octas fall for the word 8. So yeah, I guess he was circling around, and then he it must have slipped his mind or something, and then yeah, well, that was rather unfortunate. Do I see him going anywhere in that fight? It's too early to say, to be honest. And yeah, it's just pretty. It's a good thing by Miocic, because he was keeping that pressure on really well. And so yeah, I guess JDS just, maybe he was a little bit kind of like letting his guard down, and yeah, thinking that he was a safe one, still pretty safe to like circle it, and then he got caught out, bumped into the cage, and then boom, a clean knockout. Man, that's just like in the temple. And how crazy it is, because in UFC is arguably the longest, if not the only one. Okay, just give me a second to think. Alright. Yeah, because Photocraft in general, they have a lot of low cost followers because of the artifacts that they summon. And all of them, Radiance, Ancient, Mystic, and Analyzing Artifacts, they all have defense less than 3. So keeping Jin in my hand is pretty good thing, because like I said, a lot of them have 3 defense or less. From the looks of it, this guy is either playing a Storm Puppet with Vengeful Puppeteer Noah and Toy Soldier, or he could be playing Purgatory. I actually want to make a Purgatory deck, but I just haven't gone around to making it, because I think overall Photocraft, yes, it is interesting. Definitely really awesome job by the team for coming up with a new craft altogether, because sometimes it can get a little bit stale, it can get a little bit like dull. So the fact that they actually put the effort to come up with a whole new craft, just so that we can have at least a new mechanics to play around with, I think they did a very good job. I think it's just that they are unfortunate enough to, as in Photocraft is unfortunate because they don't have as diverse set of cards as compared to other crafts. So yeah, I think give it 1 more or 2 more expansions, I think Shadowverse is gonna want to push this craft, because I mean, if I'm in their team, I wouldn't want to spend money on the creative department just to come up with a new whole thing in the game that doesn't work out. So I believe they are gonna wait, hold on, why is this card so annoying? Okay, that's it. That's lost where you got 3 cards or less in your hands. Oh, that's so annoying. Does it have rush? Why does it keep on popping up? Okay. Okay, let's just do this. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to spend a bunch of money on professionals just so that they come up with a whole new thing to excite my customers, and then at the end of it all, I couldn't come up with anything beyond coming up with that synopsis or the starting idea. I think it's a bummer. If I were them, and I believe this is what they will do, I think they will push it forward. They will, I think you will expect another 3 legendaries instead of 2, because they have a lot of catching up to be done. for Portal Craft.
Guide you to glory.
Is it exciting? Yeah, hell yeah. Still is very exciting. But for now, it's still tough. Because a lot of people, I believe they're still more interested in finding out what's available for the other crafts. And on the other hand, you pretty much kind of like hit a brick wall, because yes, you have a new playstyle with Portal Craft, but like I say, with the unfortunate thing being a new craft and all, you don't have as much variables to choose from. So it is what it is, as Max Holloway would say it. And let's go cheeky, because I can't remember whether he has another puppet in his hand. Ah shit, he should have, because he ends his turn. God damn, okay, because I was just thinking of whether I can use Beacon on the next turn or not. This is actually a very interesting deck. I don't see it working far though, yeah. It's just that it catches me by surprise. I didn't expect this at all. And it didn't help that I was pretty much like talking. Yeah, anyway, let me watch my video.
Now the fight begins.
Yeah, by the way, it's so crazy how the UFC has been around for almost 2 decades, if not more. And it's just so crazy impressive how in all these 20 years of UFC career, I mean, maybe it's not from the beginning that they have heavyweight division. I think overall it's still very impressive what they did, simply because
I shall guide you to glory.
When you look at boxing, for example, you will talk about, oh crap, the greatest, the baddest man on the planet are the heavyweight champions. And it's so impressive how in UFC there has never been anybody who has, oh shit, there has never been anybody who have more than 3 consecutive title defenses in all of UFC. So even Stipe Miocic right now, I lost this one. Oh, interesting deck.
I have lost.
Yeah, Stipe Miocic has defended his belt twice in a row. If he manages to defend his belt against Ngannou this time around, he will have the most consecutive title defenses in the UFC history. So that is a moment in history right there. Catch it if you are free on the, I believe it's January 20th. Yeah, I think it should be on January 20th. Cleveland, Ohio.
Is fighting and despair all you know?
And I don't think Stipe comes from a very well known gym. I think he kind of like just started from the bottom. And it's so crazy in how almost all of Stipe Miocic's fight, he is more often than not, if I remember, in the last 4 or 5 fights, he was the underdog. So that is crazy. Even when he was the champion against JDS, over him, I think he was the underdog coming in the fight, and then he just showed dominance. He wasn't just rushing the fight, he calculated it. He didn't rush, but he saw the openings, and then when he saw it, and then he just went for it. And again with Ngannou, he is the underdog. So it's really crazy how somebody like him, who has proven himself so many times over and over again, he didn't get as much hype. People don't hype him.
He's feeling hungry.
I think because he's, I don't know, people call him plain because he doesn't talk trash. He doesn't spend money on coke, beaches or whatever. He really just a very stand up. I mean, guy, straight up guy. I don't even know what's the word. So Yeah, it's just surprising how just because he doesn't have all this blah 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 entertaining whatever he, he is a firefighter, a full-time job, and then he's a professional fighter kind of like on the side. It's impressive.
No! Stop!
And boy, I didn't know that. Oh yes, Daniel Cormier, and he will have to defend his title against Ozdemir. And this is why I gotta stop and then talk more about UFC because
Well, within you.
I mean, if you do not know, there's a force in the light heavyweight division by the name of John the Bounce. The Jones. Alright, so he is arguably,
Well, within you.
if he doesn't have all this problem with cocaine and PED, which stands for performance enhancing drugs, if he doesn't have all these issues, he undisputedly will be the best light heavyweight ever. He is still up until today, the youngest champion ever that the UFC has at the, let me check, John Jones.
Stop!
At a very young age of, he's only 30 right now. I believe it's 23 when he became the world champion. This is not in some bum career, this is the highest level, this is the equivalent of NBA light heavyweight championship. On March 19, blah blah blah, Jones defeated Hua by TKO at 2 minutes 37 round 3 to become the youngest UFC champion ever. They didn't say how old he is, but I mean, if we just look at it, March 19, now he is 30 years old. Minus 6, that means he's about 24, 23. Yeah, that's how crazy of a beast this man is.
Can you see me?
Shall I evolve? Shall I not?
I beg your pardon.
I think I should.
The real battle begins.
I mean, this deck is great, but it has problem against anything that is aggressive because the nature itself, you have to wait for the countdown amulets to finish counting down. And usually when I do play against aggressive, I would want to get, mind you, I want to get white tiger so that I have things to defend myself with. If not, this is pretty much just a brainless one for my opponent. There you go. It's crazy easy.
I envy you.
Anyway, back to the John Jones story. He is argued undisputedly the best light heavyweight ever if he doesn't have all these PEDs and cocaine rumors. And basically the second best light heavyweight for me is Daniel Cormier. And actually, personality wise, I really like Daniel Cormier. Really funny guy, really witty guy, able to speak. Every once in a while he will commentate for UFC. If not, Daniel Cormier is unbeaten except for the 2 losses given by John Jones. And actually, I think one was overturned to a no contest because for the 3rd time, I think, John Jones got caught for, in a sense, cheating by using drugs that are not allowed.
Fighting in despair,
So
all you know?
yeah, man.
I guess you're looking
and
for
I
a fight.
feel that they shouldn't have just given the belt straight away to Daniel Cormier, because I don't know, it delegitimized, is that a word? Delegitimized the belt, because I feel that if anything, yes, technically it's a no contest, it should go back to him, but I think for a while a lot of people were talking crap about Daniel Cormier because he lost it and he basically got it back by default. It's not as if he won it by defeating someone. He just got it back. Basically, he was handed back the title. So, yeah, man. I mean, I really love DC, but I think that it will be amazing if he chooses to go down the route of, dude, I don't want to take the belt. I want to see
Can you see
I want to see
Unbelievable.
myself going against somebody else and then winning that title, so that if any complaint comes, they can't complain. But then again, that is exactly the first time when the first fallout happened from John Jones. How he first got stripped of his title was because of all these allegations, which back then were just allegations, but after a while they found out, they tested him, and it became true that he actually cheated. He uses all these things, and he got suspended, so he can't just clog up the whole entire division. So Dana White, which is the president, stripped him off his belt, and I think the fight was John Jones and Rumble Johnson. I believe that's the fight that was supposed to happen. John Jones couldn't make it, and Rumble Johnson was still in the fight, but Daniel Cormier was given the shot in that light heavyweight title. So what was supposedly to be John Jones versus Daniel Cormier became, John Jones and Rumble Johnson. You know why it got so difficult? John Jones and John Jones and Anthony Johnson, yes, I'm correct, became Daniel Cormier versus Anthony Johnson. And yeah, that's pretty much the shape of the division right there.
You're done for.
So,
I am the man
spoiler alert,
within you.
I already spoiled it by saying that Daniel Cormier is unbeaten except by John Jones. The only two losses that he has under his belt. So, where was I? Man, I'm all over the place. John Jones got suspended, I think, for a year for that one offense. And then Daniel Cormier beat Rumble Johnson by rear naked choke in the second or third round. And people were actually complaining, like, dude, you are not the king of the division. You are basically just a substitute, kind of like a bench warmer or a belt warmer for this place. And a lot of people still shit on my boy. Give me a second, I have to... Yeah, on my boy, Daniel Cormier. So, I think that was just really incredibly outrageous. I don't see the reasoning behind that at all. And even after he got that belt, he defended it very well against
Unbelievable.
Alexander Gustafsson, who I thought should have won the fight when he fought John Jones for the belt by a round. I think it should be 48-47 for Gustafsson. And who else did Daniel Cormier beat? He beat Rumble Johnson again. Light heavyweight, just, I don't know, man. There's not many people there. It used to be kind of like the hype of UFC, because there's the likes of Vitor, Chuck Liddell, Rashad Evans, Rampage. I mean, I won't say that I'm a fan of that era, because I wasn't a fan I was not yet a fan in that era. So I wouldn't pretend like, oh man, yeah, that division was crazy during that time, because I watched Bloodline. I don't watch any of them.
Impressive. Looks
But
like
from what I heard from the people that actually grew up in that era, they say that Chuck Liddell was pretty much killing everybody with one shot. Rashad has this nasty striking, really strong power, though he's a wrestler. And then Rampage was in that as well. Lyoto Machida, you know, the dragon, the karate guy, pretty much probably the first one that made karate popular in MMA. So there's a lot of people there actually. But yeah, and then suddenly after they all left, because they retired, Tito Ortiz was in there as well. I can't remember where he was, but yeah, man, it used to be a very stacked division back then. Just looking at the name of the Hall of Famers.
Is fighting and despair all you know?
And yeah, man, now this is Daniel Cormier is fighting Volkan Ozdemir, and I don't know, man. I'm not too hyped about this fight, simply because Volkan, I think, only had, let me check his record. I mean, he's amazing so far, He literally knocked out people really quickly. Let me look at his record. Oh, he was in Bellator. Okay. Here we go. Let me read it to you. Ozdemir was signed by the UFC in 2017 and made his promotional debut as a short notice injury replacement against Ovin Saintru. Oh shit. Ovin Saintru is legit. I think his striking has things to work on, but he has nasty power, Ovin Saintru, and the Von Flue choke. I really love that choke now. You can type it. It's spelled VONFLUE. Von Flue. VON, and then just imagine spelling without the T. Choke. It's What's so impressive about that choke is that it looks like you are the one getting choked by a guillotine, but you position yourself in a side control, and then you wrap your arms around, kind of like a seat belt. So it looks like a seat belt is choking you. That is probably like the most layman way that I can explain that choke to you. But it's impressive because that's not something that you will usually go for, but that became his trademark. People now start to kind of like joke about naming that choke the OSP, or the Ovin Saintru choke, because he uses it way more than the first guy who did it, which is somebody whose name is Von Flue. That's about all that I know about that move. So yeah, he came in. Ozdemir came in as a short notice injury replacement against Ovin Saintru, who fought John Jones. Even though John Jones looked pretty bad in that fight, but Ovin Saintru was defeated by Ozdemir, and then Ozdemir fight this guy called Misha Shirkunov. He won in 28 seconds. I remember that fight clearly. I think he was backing off as Shirkunov was going in, and then he just kind of made a very, I think he counter hooked Shirkunov. I remember because it was really quick, and then he was talking about like, hey, my nickname is No Time because I beat my enemy in no time, and things like this. And then he fought his third opponent, Jimmy Manuwa, which a lot of people think that he is the next Rumble Johnson, because Rumble Johnson is, a lot of people back then, before Francis Ngannou became what he is right now, back then Rumble Johnson was this dynamite guy who just needed one hit on your chin, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said as well, this matchup is really bad for Haven. I literally did the best that I could, and still it's not enough. Yeah, I just die.
I envy you.
Yeah, so he fought Jimmy Manuwa, July 29, 2017, and he won the fight via knockout in the fight's opening minute, and subsequently won a performance of the night bonus. Yeah, so they were in the clinch, I remember, and then he was kind of like doing shots to the body, switching it up to the head, going back to the body again, and then switching it back to the head. And then in one of those exchanges, I think one got Jimmy Manuwa really clean, and then Ozdemir won really quickly. So yeah, man. So just think about it. This guy only had 3 fights in the UFC. His current record is 15-1 though. But still, man, I mean, if you only have 3 fight in the UFC, and then suddenly you already get a title shot, it brings the questions like, how legit is light heavyweight? I mean, besides Daniel Cormier, I just feel really sad for my boy Alexander Gustafsson, because he's really legit, man. and for some reason he just couldn't crack that gold. He couldn't get it. He lost against John Jones, which I thought he won, like I said. He lost to Daniel Cormier, which I agree he lost. He got knocked the F out by Rumble Johnson, who's a scary dude. And his performance against Shogun, who was actually incredible. That jab, bolo punch, jab, bolo punch, jab, bolo punch combination was nasty.
Keep relying on you, Dragon.
He was landing that bolo punch, which is kind of like a very version of an uppercut punch. So he dipped. It's hard to demonstrate right now, but that fight was incredible. That knockout was beautiful. Alexander Gustafsson. His name G. Gustafsson. Yep, there you go. Excuse me. Alexander Lars Ek. I don't know how to pronounce his name. His middle name. Gustafsson is a Swedish professional mixed martial artist. He's currently signed to the UFC, where he competes in the light heavyweight division. I actually want to see who's inside the light heavyweight division. Probably the saddest thing in recent history is that Rory McDonald is now fighting in Bellator, and so is Gegard Mousasi, man. Those two people, had they stayed in the UFC, I believe they both will become champions by now. But I guess they weren't paid the money that they deserve, and I agree. Sometimes they who is that guy again? Dana White can get really greedy with his money.
You're done
Yeah,
for.
unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. How amazing is this? I've been playing this game for 30 minutes, and I think I've barely spoken about the game at all. Yeah, so let's look at
Flames are like a god omniscient.
Corey Anderson,
There's a lot more where that came from.
Magomed,
Burn the
I
darkness.
can't remember,
Scorch the
Ankalaev,
light.
Zimurat Francimar Barroso, Anton Bersin,
Care to touch?
Malice.
John Blakovic, sounds familiar.
Hear
James
the dragons roar.
Bogdanovic. I'm butchering these names because I
Care to
can't,
touch?
I don't know.
No!
What's this language again? Russian or whatever names they are. Jared Cannonier, I remember that guy. The Killer Gorilla. Misha Serknov, okay. Daniel Cormier, my boy. Patrick Cummins, Iwan Kudalaba was impressive. There's this one knockout when it was really nasty. Henrique de Silva. Gokhan Saki, I believe, is in this division as well. Hey, Gokhan Saki. I'm just taking Joe Rogan's word for it that he's actually really legit. But I mean, I'm not a big kickboxing fan, and I don't do kickboxing. I used to do BJJ for a while, like a year plus, so I kind of can say when a guy is good or not. I'm just a white belt talking shit about black belts. So let's look. Iwan Kudalaba. Yep, his last fight against Henrique de Silva was... His striking is... What is this? Yeah, that was good. I remember. Where is the list of the rankings? I need to see the ranking. And yeah, boy, it's such a treat. January 14, Jeremy Stevens against Duho Choi. Oh my goodness. That is a fight to behold right there. If you do not know who Duho Choi is, go and watch his fight. I think it's now free up on the UFC channel. It was his fight with Cub Swanson, which he brought to unanimous decision, to the decision, but he didn't win.
All must come to an end.
But that fight won Fight of the Year in 2016, my bad. Shit, what is the 2017 Fight of the Year in UFC 2017 Fight of the Year? I mean, Fight of the Year, okay. Here's the thing on my list. the two Justin Gaethje's fight.
Dear little one, it's mealtime.
The Yancy Medeiros was not too bad, but I think the Justin Gaethje fight should be up there. Ah, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. His Justin Gaethje's debut against Michael Johnson. Continue the article. I just do this because I don't want to make it into a habit where I don't. It's gonna get noisy. Alright, no. Just want to make a habit of doing the right thing because the next time I might actually. Yeah. Yeah, you know, just a good habit to have. UFC Fight of the Year, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Johnson.
This victory is a testament to your strength.
That was back in like June or July, I believe. Yeah, I mean, it was easy to guess.
I pray that you will be freed from suffering.
There were a handful of good fights, but when I thought about this year's event, the Justin Gaethje versus Michael Johnson brawl stood head and shoulders above the rest. The classic brawl took place on July 7th, there you go, at the T-Mobile Arena during the finale of the 25th season of The Ultimate Fighter. Gaethje ultimately won the fight via second round TKO, but there were so many momentum shifts and eye-popping sequences that it was easily the most memorable bout of the year. Before the fight, the two men engaged in some nasty trash talk, and added some level of anticipation. Usually when that happens, the fight itself is a bit of a letdown. Gaethje and Johnson certainly bucked that trend. Blah blah
Is
blah.
fighting and despair
Yeah.
all you know?
It's by Forbes, so I don't know how legit that will be.
Come on!
But I definitely agree. That is one hell of a fight right there. I think a lot of people won't be mad if this is chosen as the fight of the year. Let's look at MMA Mania and MMAfighting.com because they have the word MMA, so I assume they're legit. Yep. Even okay, I'm looking at MMA Mania right now, published on Christmas Day 2017. Okay, I will switch around. Yep. MMA Mania. So they are talking about the top 5. Pretty much everything involving Dustin Poirier. I agree, he had quite a fight with Alvarez. He had a good fight with Anthony Pettis. That was nasty. Actually, I should give him honorable mention. Whose fight is this against? Jim Miller. I can't remember that fight, but yeah, the Alvarez one, I believe people have won that fight. Tim Elliott versus Louis Smolka. Ah. Can't remember who won that fight. Oh, Tim Elliott won. And Tim Elliott, if you don't know who he is, he was the replacement. Oh no. He was the tough finale winner for the flyweight division, and he challenged Demetrius Johnson, and he actually caught him pretty good in the first round. So that is Tim Elliott, former title contender. If that clarifies anything, though, I don't think you needed that. So number 3, Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje. Expected there was a brawl. Number 2, Yancy Medeiros and Alex Oliveira. Yup, I just said it right there.
No!
And then obviously the number 1, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Johnson. Alright, I called that the top 3. I had the same top 3. The two Alvarez, the Gaethje fights. Okay, now we're looking at the top 5 submission of the year. Let me hear. He's by Diego Brandao, and he's a legit striker. How do I know? Because he fought my boy. This isn't looking too good. He fought my boy Brian Ortega, and Ortega did that thing where I thought he was switching over to an armbar, and then I thought that he adjusted to get a high mount position, and I thought that he did a mistake of stepping in too far, and that allowed Diego Brandao to kind of like sweep him. But then suddenly, dude, out of nowhere, less than a second, okay, maybe less than 2 or 3 seconds, Brian T. City Ortega locked in the triangle, and that was it. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and if you don't know who the Gracies are, basically the Gracies are the equivalent of, let me think.
Your death.
Well, they are the family that created Jiu-Jitsu, so that goes a long way. And if that doesn't, I don't know what convinces you. They say I couldn't win against this one.
I have lost.
Boy, that's so... I didn't expect it to be a anatomy deck. Okay, maybe after this one I'll show one or two more matches. I probably will be done. So I really want to watch my UFC. And maybe still play the game, but playing the game and then speaking at the same time, I realized that this is more than expected. Okay, let's see. Okay, oh, that is actually quite textbook. I mean, he had kind of like he had 2 of his leg on the hips of his opponent, and then he lifted him up, and then as he lifted him up, he let go of one of the leg that was on the hip, one of the legs that was on the hip, and then he quickly spin around and then close in an armbar. Pretty tricky stuff. Didn't expect it to come from a MMA fight, but that was nasty. Okay. Because the guy was just leaning forward too much, man, without trying to circle away, trying to widen his base or anything. The guy was just trying to lean forward, like his opponent is. And then I can't see it from this angle though. But from what, yeah, that was beautiful. Okay, let me guess. I haven't scrolled down this list, but I know for 100% sure the number 1 is gonna be Demetrius Johnson versus Ray Borg, which gives him the number 1 most title defenses consecutively, beating Anderson Silva with 11 title defenses.
I am the Mad Cyclone.
Is it a can opener? It's a calf. Oh yes, yes, a calf. It's actually not even a calf slicer. It's actually an Eddie Bravo move. I don't think this is a. Wait, give me a second. Brad Jones, blah blah blah, had gone the distance in 6 of his previous 7 fights. Joe Soto had 1 submission loss in his entire career and had just beat the snot out of Rani Yaya on the mat. Expected Jones to grind his way to another victory, although finishing the occasionally fragile Soto with strikes wouldn't have surprised me. This surprised me. It took Jones all of 30 seconds to counter with Soto to take down the tank and transition to a wins-inducing calf slicer in the scramble. I can count on one hand the number of calf slicers I've ever seen attempted in the UFC, much less completed. I think this guy doesn't know his shit, because this is not just a calf slicer. This is... I actually have to watch the video. I could have gotten the... Okay, let me take down. Okay. Oh shit, it's lagging. God damn.
You're done for. Ow!
Yes, man. This is not just your everyday calf slicer, but the way that he did it, dude, I thought that it will go by like the top stoner control. I believe that's what it's called, because Eddie Bravo comes up with all this crazy name. It's called the stoner control, like the stoner. So it's so interesting because Joe Soto was going for a single leg. Okay, let me just show you.
Guide me, Elder Tree.
Okay, so this guy, the brown guy, is going for a takedown. And then he's holding onto him. And then basically just holding onto him. Not trying to let go of the single leg. And then he traps his own leg in between the thigh and the calf, basically behind the knee of Joe Soto. And then he grabs hold of the foot before he could clear it, because he doesn't know what the hell is going on, I believe. And then close it down, and then uses this leg to lever up as well, I believe. Yeah, that was nasty, dude. That was really beautiful. Yep. I might have just lost this match because I was talking too much about this. I just hope that he doesn't have a what you call it?
The real battle begins.
Rhino. I think it's funny if he has one Rhino, but I sure hope that he doesn't have a Nature's Guidance or anything like that.
I lost.
That position is so nasty because actually you can, instead of closing it in a figure 4, what he's doing right here, when he closes the leg with his other leg, that is called the figure 4, and he could actually kind of like crank it by, instead of doing this, he could kind of like push it in, and that will put pressure on me. From what I remember, I have to check the video by Eddie Bravo, but you can just watch Eddie Bravo with his whole system, the rubber guard system. But this shit was nasty. I was actually crazy impressed because it's in December. And okay, let's see, what is the number 3? Yuri Alcantara unleashes City BJJ. Oh look, this is really cool. Yuri Alcantara did not win a single millisecond of this fight until Luke Sanders stepped. He took an enormous amount of punishment, and both the referee and his corner should be ashamed that they let the fight last as long as it did. My voice is going going away. What a damn finish though. Alcantara, that beautiful disaster of a fighter, spent 8 minutes getting turned to mush before locking up the first knee bar I've seen in a while. True, that's true. It seems like the golden age of leg locks in Jiu-Jitsu, with guys like Gary Tonin leading the charge, but with Josimar Palhares off periodically self-destructing in Europe, and Masakazu Imanari now 41 and years removed from the spotlight, there's been a dearth recently. Oh, what does that word mean? Dearth. Look up dearth. Always glad to see them. Would prefer ones that involved fewer lost brain cells though. Oh shit. The videos. Where's the videos? Wait, cause I pulled pin in prayer. Nope, I didn't, but it's okay. Yeah, the video isn't there. Okay, Alexei Olenek gets Victor Pesta right where he wants him. Oh yeah, but this is an easy kill choke from the bottom. Usually people do it from the top, but I don't see why it's not possible from being on your back. Maybe because I have quite a long arm, so I'm not surprised if I can pull it off on someone else. Yeah, I mean you can't see, but I know I have really long arms. But he did it. This guy has crazy long. No gi easy kill from the bottom on. This is nasty because people. Oh, well. Oh shit. Okay, so this is interesting. So the guy was kind of like in the second one. Why can't I... Okay.
Hey, let's play.
That is crazy. Because so basically the guy was in a side mount, and Alexei already have one hand at the back of the neck, controlling the posture. My goodness, my voice is going crazy.
Okay,
My pronunciation going crazy.
you're done for.
But anyway, he got his one arm
Clapping
around the
happy.
head, controlling the
Flying
posture,
this way.
and then as he does it,
Was I bad?
and then kind of like the other half is already here, locking in the basic of rear naked chokes. I can't remember what it's called. My goodness, yes, I'm sorry, I can't remember. But he has that, and then as
Let's play.
his opponent climbed on top of him from side control
Let's play.
to mount position, Alexei just adjusted that left hand because the one that is around the head was the right arm, and then the left arm was just kind of like sneaking down below and then closes in the first ever Ezekiel choke from the bottom. There's some nasty stuff right there. What makes for lie can turn on a dime faster than particular. Even so, getting finished while in mount, just insane.
The real battle begins.
That guy was giving a... Okay. Ezekiel chokes generally don't even work that well outside the gi. I've never tried rolling in gi because in my head I'm like, am I that excited about jiu-jitsu that I will spend money on this shit?
Tail beside me.
Yeah, that's all I thought about. And that's number one. And number two, when I was doing jiu-jitsu, a good majority don't even have gi. So I was like, yo, this doesn't make sense if I buy this thing. And then not many of my friends actually roll in this thing. So I was like, yep, not gonna buy. And then I didn't buy, and it gets really sweaty. I know that I'm just whining. But yeah, I would like to just turn up in my shorts and in my dry fit shirt, and then I will just roll, and then I just go home and throw it in a washing machine, and then that's it. Yeah, because I see the gi is really bulky because I almost have to bring a second set of bag, like a tote bag or something. And then the thing is, I don't usually carry anything else beside my bag. Even my laptop, when I go to school, I will keep it in my bag. And then yeah, sometimes when I bring something in my hand, because I'm so not used to it, I actually forgot that I was actually bringing something extra. So I don't want to lose things that I just don't like losing things. Yep, number one, Demetrius Johnson. Some people, okay, so Demetrius Johnson is currently the number one pound per pound fighter in the whole world, and a very well deserved one at that.
From the heavens above, justice is delivered! For great justice!
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the next turn he doesn't summon anything crazy, and then I can just use Dark Jin to control the board. So yeah, and Mighty Mouse, and Demetrius Johnson's nickname is Mighty Mouse. So when he did the submission, people gave this submission the nickname the Mouse Trap, and I think that is very suitable for this man right here. I've been a blah blah blah.
Justice can never...
This guy wrote double the length of the previous expositories for the other entries. I've been a San Antonio Spurs fan since I can remember. As a San Antonian, it comes with the territory. While our boys have a tendency for fight, fundamental basketball, Manu Ginobili has a penchant for superheroics that wouldn't be out of place on any superstar's highlight reel. not that big of a
Save our world.
basketball fan. Anyway,
Within you.
while those miraculous moments are growing fewer and farther between, my father still turns to me and says the same thing he has for years whenever Manu pulls off something brilliant, because he's Manu fucking Ginobili. Demetrius Johnson is the greatest martial artist on the planet. Yep, I will go as far to say that were it not for his size, he will be the greatest hand-to-hand combatant this planet has ever produced. Okay, he's a my god, he's a once in a multiple generations fighter, one of those rare gems, blessed with both natural talent and the dedication to cultivate it to truly spectacular results. Yes, he was a massive favorite against Ray Borg, but you need to understand that Ray Borg is an absolute beast on the ground. Yep, he's a very good wrestler, really nasty ground control game. Yeah, and basically in that fight, he got controlled by none other than my boy.
Exactly what I didn't want.
Yep, his scrambling ability is off the charts, and he can be a devastating chain wrestler when he gets his hands on people. Johnson dove headlong into his world and mopped the floor with him before pulling off the kind of submission you see in a YouTube demo before getting your ass kicked for trying during open match. Because he's Demetrius fucking Johnson. Anyone disagree with my picks? Well, keep it to yourselves, because being mean on Christmas is just wrong. We've got more to come, maniacs, so stick around. Yep.
Get out of my sight.
I just want to see that submission again. Oh my god. Goodness me. Yeah, man. I'll probably stop this thing when it hits 1 hour. So I realized that I basically didn't do shit but talk about UFC the whole 1 hour. And I remember watching this. I'm a big fan of Demetrius Johnson ever since his 7th defense or something, because I only started watching UFC on a weekly basis. I think I didn't miss a single UFC from 2016 May or something like that. So this fight, I watched it in the train, and then I literally let out a yelp like and then my dad was just like, what the heck, and my brother didn't get to say because he doesn't like women, unfortunately. But yeah, top 5 knockouts are gonna be hard to pick. Yeah, let me see, the UFC MMA submission of the year. But yeah, anyway, man, fighter of the year. Okay, top 5 list. Alright, so my guess has to be if Ngannou actually became the champion this year, he will actually be number 2 or number 1. I will have to say this year it gotta be Max Holloway in the top 5. Max Holloway should be there in my opinion. Stipe Miocic should be number 4. Number 3, I don't think he's number 1 because he only defended twice. Yes, it's a big feat in the heavyweight division, but still, Max Holloway for defeating Jose Aldo, who a lot of people thought that is the greatest featherweight ever so far. And Max Holloway defeated him earlier this year in June, and then recently defeated him in December something of 2017 with ease. Pretty much the same thing, ground and pound. I thought that this is pretty much the same thing. He figured out Jose Aldo. If Jose Aldo wants to go in again the 3rd time, he needs a miracle to knock out Max Holloway. So Max Holloway, I'm a fan. It is what it is. TJ Dillashaw, not really. Let me look at who else. Amanda Nunes might be there, but his fight against Shevchenko, a lot of people complain about it, so maybe top 5, top 4. Chris Cyborg is definitely up there. So my pick, if I had to choose, Stipe, Ngannou maybe. Max Holloway, top 2 at least. Top 3 at least. Tony Ferguson just became a fighter. I mean, a champion. That's only interim. Screw McGregor. Amanda Nunes, like I said, maybe. Demetrius Johnson, actually, yeah. He's gotta be up there as well, top 1. Who else? I mean, I'm just looking at champions. I'm not looking at people who climb the ranks. Yeah, let's take a look at this guy. And he has Max Holloway as the photo. Number 5, Volkan Ozdemir, okay. Number 4, oh shit, Rose Namajunas, how could I slip? Demetrius Johnson, like I said, top 3 at least. Number 2, Robert Whittaker, why? Going into 2017, the middleweight division had 2 boogeymen, Ronaldo, Jacare Souza, and Yoel Romero, who had blah blah blah, and Whittaker, who got 2 UFC through a filler season of the Ultimate Fighter and had 2 losses at welterweight in the organization, fought them both in succession, and against Jacare he won. Yep, okay, I agree. Number 1, Max Holloway. Ordinarily, spending your year fighting the same guy twice isn't enough to get the top spot. When the guy's Jose Aldo and you make him look pedestrian, though, that's another story. Of all the fighters to earn a belt this year, Holloway has my highest hopes for establishing a dynasty. Jose Aldo is a technician of the highest caliber, and Holloway took him apart twice in a row. He's a measly 26 years old. His potential is so far off the charts that a 5-man belay team couldn't climb high enough to see the top. Nobody did more in 2017 to stake their claim as the future of the sport. I just like the way that he made the comparison. I like this guy. My expectation he'll be back in this top spot more than once. UFC has fewer dynasties than ever right now, and that means some quality drama in store for 2018 when this new crop of champion gets to show their mettle. Can't wait. I believe that Stipe has to at least be in there. I think he became a champ in 2016, yes, but he defended twice against really dangerous opponents, JDS, whom he lost to, and then Alistair Overeem, who a lot of people, who's like pretty much like Gustafsson, who's always in the division top elite fighters, but never became the champion. Yeah, and then he's gonna fight Ngannou. But Rose Namajunas, yes, Jacek victory was huge. Volkan Ozdemir, like I said, man, yeah, he 3 wins in a row, putting him in a title contention, but like I said, light heavyweight, in my opinion, doesn't have the sharks that, for example, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, they all have monsters, but light heavyweight is, yeah, probably one of the least stacked in the whole division. Demetrius Johnson, of course. Happily grappled with 2 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu aces this year. I guess he doesn't get the top 1 because he dodged the fight with TJ Dillashaw, but I understand. Maybe he is scared, but I think he is holding up the integrity of the sport. If TJ Dillashaw took the challenge, comes down to 125, gets 1 fight in, 2 fight in, or 3 fights in, even just to establish himself, and he fights DJ and DJ still ducks, that's when I really agree that he doesn't have any reason whatsoever to decline that fight. So yeah, 1 hour of Shadowverse with UFC commentary, everyone. Thank you so much. The next one I'll try not to play and watch at the same time because I realize it's so hard to concentrate, and especially doing so many videos in a go kinda killed my throat because, yeah man. But I really enjoy this. I'm happy that it doesn't feel as, I would say, time wasting as just playing the whole day. So at least if I'm making videos, I feel it trains me to speak. But actually it's not even fair because I'm not even focusing 100% on just speaking because I'm watching, reading, playing. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. The next one I hope will be awesome. Leave a like, comment below if you want a deck code. Comment, because I usually am too lazy to find the deck code. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.